Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast. We are breaking down chapter 1151 today.
The official title is The Wings of the Pirate King.
And what a title. Robin, I don't even know where to begin. We have Dorry and Brogy going full monster mode. Emu flexing a haki that shakes a legend. But the headline, the one we've been waiting decades for?
We finally got his name and his title. Scopper Gaban is officially in the building. If you want to be here for every single piece of the puzzle Oda lays down, from Roger's wings to the secrets of the Void Century, make sure you're following the show. You do not want to miss the moment it all connects.
And it is definitely starting to connect. Let's get into it. We open on the surface of Elbaph, and it is pure chaos. Dorry and Brogy, these demons now, are standing over Jarul, the oldest giant in the world.
'Cause she is begging them to stop. He's calling Jarul a hero, a legend. He represents the living history of the giants, their connection to a past even older than the Void Century, perhaps.
But Brogy just says that's exactly why they have to kill him, because he's so old. Dorry follows it up, saying once he's gone, they will take over as the new kings of Elbaph and bring about an age of war. It's not just patricide, it's deicide. They're trying to kill their history, their god, their father figure, all in one.
This isn't them. It's a complete inversion of their character. We met them in Little Garden, two men who put their duel, their honor above everything for a century. They were willing to die for a principle. Now they want senseless destruction for no reason other than power.
It's not just an inversion, it feels like a possession. Is this some kind of devil fruit ability we're seeing? A brainwashing technique from Killingham or one of the Gorosei? The visual of them as these demon-like demons, it's not just a power-up. They look wrong. Their eyes are blank, their smiles are too wide. It brings to mind the smile fruits, a forced emotion plastered over a corrupted form. But this feels more profound. The smiles broke the person's spirit. This seems to be overriding it with a new, malevolent one. It's a corruption of their spirit, as you said.
Exactly. And the other giants try to hold them back, but anyone who gets too close gets transformed too. We see another one, Thorman, just turn into one of those demon forms. It's like a virus. It spreads through proximity or combat. It's terrifying. How do you even fight that?
You can't, not physically. It's a contagion of ideology, manifested physically. They aren't just gaining power, they are losing themselves. And killing Jarul is symbolic. He represents the history, the legacy of Elbaph. It's the same philosophy we saw from the world government during the O'Hara incident. To control the present, you must erase the past. They're trying to kill the past to make way for their new era of ruthlessness. It's chilling. It's Doflamingo's "the winner decides what is justice" taken to its most extreme. And you just know Usopp is watching this, maybe through a telescope. Maybe he's closer than we think, seeing his heroes, his masters, the men who inspired his dream of becoming a brave warrior of the sea, completely lose their way. His heart has to be in pieces.
It's the ultimate test of his admiration. Can you still believe in the hero when the hero himself has forgotten what he stands for? This is the moment Usopp has been training for. Not a physical fight, but a spiritual one. He has to remind them of who they are.
A warrior's soul isn't in his fists, it's in his heart. Bro, that's going to be Usopp's big moment. It has to be. While that's happening, we cut to Ripley. She hears that Gaban got taken down and is now rushing to her son, Colin. This whole battlefield is just a nightmare of interlocking personal stakes. Every single person has someone they need to protect, and the enemy is preying exactly on that.
It grounds the conflict. This isn't a war of armies. It's a war fought in the hearts of mothers and sons, students and masters. And the source of the nightmare is just getting started. Killingham, now in his hybrid form, which looks like some kind of terrifying long-limbed insectoid creature, sees the captive children are asleep again.
Which means he can manifest more of those M&A soldiers. So it is tied to dreams. He's literally weaponizing the nightmares of children. That is the most twisted thing I've ever heard. He's not just making new ones, he's reviving the ones that were already taken down. He says now that Emu's on stage, there's no need to hold back.
The curtain is up. The performance has begun. This was all just the prelude. The world government was testing the waters, seeing what Elbaph was capable of. Now, with the arrival of their king, the true invasion begins. The goal is not subjugation, it is annihilation of their culture.
And Emu is sitting there on that throne of twisted roots that sprouted from the ground, watching it all unfold like it's theater. The casual arrogance is insane. One of the Gorosei, in their transformed state, asks how long this carnage will go on.
Emu's answer is so cold, so simple, yet so revealing of their entire 800-year reign, until the country's spirit breaks.
That's it. That one line is everything. It's not about military victory. It's not about conquering land or resources. It's about crushing their will to exist. It's psychological warfare on a national scale. It's what they tried to do to Ohara, what they did to Lulusia, what they've done to countless islands that dared to question them. They don't want subjects. They want broken things.
A broken spirit cannot pass on an inherited will. It is the ultimate victory for them, to sever the chain of history and hope that connects generations. They want to create a world of people who are too afraid to dream, a world without a dawn.
And then they add that little detail. If King Harald hadn't messed up in the past, Elbaph would have been conquered by now. It's said with such disdain, like a parent scolding a child for a clumsy mistake.
There it is, the linchpin. King Harald, Loki's dad. Whatever deal he made, whatever miserable failure Emu was talking about, that's the original sin of this whole arc. It reframes everything we know about Elbaph's isolation.
So what do you think it was? What was the failure? Did Harald make a deal with the government and then get cold feet?
It implies Harald tried to resist them once before and failed, or perhaps he made a compromise that Emu now sees as a failure because it didn't give them total control. Maybe he was supposed to hand over something, a poneglyph, a weapon, or even a person. We know Jaguar D. Saul ended up on Elbaph. Could Harald's failure have been an inability or an unwillingness to turn over a D to the celestial dragons?
Oh man, if that's it, if Loki's entire complex about his dad is because his dad chose to protect one of Luffy's kind, to protect a piece of the true history, that changes everything. Loki's quest for the throne is tied directly to a secret history with the world government. It always comes back to the past.
Always. And to the will of D.
Okay, so from there, we get a little flashback. A few minutes earlier, Gaban is falling after being taken down by that mysterious attack, and Chopper just leaps off the cliff after him. No plan, no thought, just pure doctor's instinct.
He curses himself for being reckless, but it's that recklessness that saves people. It's the Straw Hat way. Luffy jumps into a whirlpool to save a bird. Zoro takes on all of Luffy's pain. Sanji sacrifices himself for his family. They don't calculate the odds. They act on their convictions.
He gets ahead of Gaban in midair and pops Guard Point, a giant fluffy cushion of fur to save a legend of the seas. That's our doctor. It's such a perfect Chopper moment. He's often the most timid, the most easily scared, but when someone is hurt, he becomes the bravest one on the crew. He just does what needs to be done.
They land safely in the Underworld, cushioned by the giant foliage, and that's when Luffy, who is with Hajruddin's group far away, just stops. He puts his hand on his chest. He says he can sense Chopper.
But he doesn't know how. It's not observation hockey, not in the way Rayleigh described it. It's not about seeing auras or predicting attacks. He just feels it. He feels his Nakama's presence. That's the bond. That's that captain's intuition that goes beyond powers and abilities. He knows where his family is.
It's the same kind of connection that let him hear Roger's voice at the Sea Kings, or Zunesha's voice. It's a form of the voice of all things, but specifically attuned to his own crew. It's a testament to the depth of their bond, a frequency only they can hear.
Back in the present, still in the Underworld, we see Loki chained up. He's taunting Hajruddin, telling him to get on his knees and beg for answers about his father, King Harald. He's enjoying this, having all the leverage.
But Hajruddin refuses. He has too much pride for that. He tells Loki that he'll forge his own path, free of the shame of the past. It's a classic giant mentality. Pride and honor above all. He'll find another way.
This whole scene with Loki is so tense. He's clearly the key to something, but he's enjoying the power of being the only one who has it. He's a prince in chains, but in that moment, he's the one with all the control. Then he gets a call on a Dendenmushi.
From Mosa. It's a very strange conversation. Mosa's voice is strained, and she says they won't be able to call for a while. She is with the other giant children who were captured.
And she says their talks always helped him, and she just wanted to say thank you. Bro, that sounds like a goodbye. That sounds like someone who knows they're about to be captured or killed, or worse, used as a pawn by Killingham.
Mosa immediately picks up on it. He demands to know what's wrong, if they're in danger, but Mosa denies it and hangs up. Loki is left looking genuinely worried, staring at the silent Dendenmushi.
For the first time, we see a crack in his smug, arrogant facade. He actually cares about this person. It's a small detail, but it adds so much depth to his character. He's not a one-note villain.
And Gerd, the giantess doctor who is captured with him, overhears. She says she's happy he found a friend to keep him company during his imprisonment. It's a sweet, almost motherly comment, meant to be comforting.
And Loki just snaps back. Don't you dare say another word about it. He's so guarded. He can't even admit to having a single friend. It tells you so much about the pressure he's under, the isolation of being a prince in this situation. He's been taught that any connection, any affection is a weakness.
He sees connection as a liability to be hidden, something that can be exploited by his enemies. It's quite tragic. He's the inverse of Luffy, who sees his connections as his greatest strength.
Just then, Luffy's group returns with the injured Gaban. Hajudin tells Gerd to get her medical supplies ready. The crew is back together, more or less. Chopper is already working on Gaban, who's still unconscious.
Luffy walks over, pats Chopper on the head, and tells Gaban he was lucky Chopper was the one who found him, calling him the best doctor in the world. And then the giants, seeing the man up close, finally drop the bomb.
They tell Luffy who Gaban really is. Not just a hermit, not just Gaban the woodcutter. He is Scopper Gaban, a member of the Roger Pirates.
The world just stops for a moment. Luffy is stunned. You can just picture his eyes going wide, the pupils turning into little stars. He's been on an island with a member of his idol's crew this entire time and had no idea.
The giants don't stop there. Hajudin says he and Silver Ace Rayleigh were considered Roger's wings, the left and right hand of the Pirate King.
It immediately clicks for Zoro, who is standing right there. He understands how powerful Gaban was when they fought in the woods earlier. The sheer pressure, the weight of his strikes. He wasn't just some powerful old man. He was fighting a peer of the Dark King, a man who stood shoulder to shoulder with the man he wants to surpass.
And it clicks for Luffy, too, in a different way. He realizes if Gaban was on Roger's crew, he must know Shanks. It's another direct link to his hero and his mentor, standing right in front of him. First Rayleigh, now Gaban. He's walking the same path, meeting the same legends.
Gaban wakes up at that moment just to add his own 2 cents. He's groggy, holding his head, and he hears Hajudin call him a wing of the Pirate King. He just grunts and retorts, "I always considered myself the second strongest."
I love that. That is such a super perfect character beat. It tells you everything. A little bit of that friendly, eternal rivalry with Rayleigh, even after all these years. It makes the Roger Pirates feel so real, so much like the Straw Hats. They weren't just a crew of monsters. They were a family who bickered and competed each other. It's the Zoro and Sanji dynamic, but on a legendary scale.
It also recontextualizes the structure of a top-tier pirate crew, a Yonko crew. It's not just a captain and a first mate, it's the king and the wings. It gives Zoro and Sanji's roles an almost mythological weight. They are the ones who will carry Luffy to the throne. Oda has been showing us this for years, and now he's finally given it a name.
Exactly. It's not a hierarchy. It's a formation. It's beautiful. The captain soars and the wings provide the power and stability to get him there. Oda has been building this parallel for 2 decades and just crystallized it in a single line of dialogue. It's perfect writing. Sanji is the left wing, Zoro is the right wing, and together they are the wings of the future Pirate King. My heart can't take it.
Once Gaban is awake and somewhat stable, Chopper fills everyone in on what's happening on the surface. The demon transformations, the MMA soldiers, the pure chaos orchestrated by the Gorosei.
The mood shifts instantly from reunion and revelation to grim reality, and right then, everyone feels it. A massive, suffocating burst of hockey from the surface. It's not like Shanks' hockey that cracked the Moby Dick. This feels different. It's cold, ancient, and absolute.
It's so immense that Gaban, Scopper Gaban, a man who stood on the deck of the Oro Jackson and fought alongside Roger, looks up with genuine worry on his face. He recognizes the quality of this power.
That's how you sell a threat. That's how you show, not tell. A man who sailed with Roger, who has been to Laugh Tale, who has seen everything the world has to offer, is worried. That tells you everything you need to know about Imu's power. This isn't just strong conqueror's hockey. This is something else.
Imu is not just another emperor. They are something else entirely, a force that even the legends of the old era find unsettling. This is the power that has secretly ruled the world for 800 years. It's a power that feels final.
But Luffy isn't worried. He just cracks his knuckles, a grin spreading across his face. He's not scared, he's just ready. He feels the big boss on the stage, and all he can think about is running up there to punch him. Hadradin sees his captain's resolve and immediately orders his crew to get back on the lift. It's time for the counterattack.
And as they all prepare to rush into battle, Luffy, Zoro, Chopper, Gaban, and the new giant warrior pirates, we get one last shot of Loki, chained in the underworld.
He's laughing. A low, calculating chuckle that turns into a full-blown laugh. He felt that hockey too, and he knows exactly what it means. The world is ending above them. He looks at his chains, and then in the direction of the departing giants. He says, "It seems you're going to have to set me free after all."
He's going to use the end of the world as his bargaining chip. The chaos Imu is creating on the surface is the key to Loki's freedom. He's been waiting for a disaster this big, a threat so overwhelming that the giants would have no choice but to unleash him. It's a checkmate.
The ultimate opportunist. He's not a hero or a villain in this conflict. He's a third party, playing his own game. He's just playing to win, no matter the cost to anyone else. It's a chilling end to the chapter.
A super chilling end. The board is set. All the pieces are in position. Gaban is with the crew, the giants are ready to fight back, and Luffy is about to charge head first into a battle against the secret king of the world. It's on.
Before we get into what happens next, Oda's author comment this week was quite nice. He mentioned hanging out with Iñaki, Emily, Jacob, and the others from the live-action cast.
He said he went to a sky restaurant and a yakata boat with them and that it was the best. You love to see it. The creator embracing the adaptation and the actors, it's just so wholesome.
It is. A nice moment of peace before we dive back into the chaos.
Absolutely. Okay, predictions. But before that, let us know in the comments who you think is stronger, Gaban or Rayleigh. I'm sure that won't be a controversial topic at all.
Give this episode a like if you're as hyped as I am for the coming war.
All right, my turn to go first this week.
Lay it on me.
My first prediction is about Loki. He won't be freed by Hadradin or the giants. He'll use the chaos to manipulate someone else into freeing him, perhaps one of his guards by revealing a secret that forces their hand. He won't join the fight on the surface directly, but will use his new freedom to pursue his own agenda in the underworld, maybe searching for something related to his father's failure.
Ooh, I like that. He's not the cavalry, he's the third party taking advantage of the war. That fits him perfectly. Okay, my first one. The combined force of the Straw Hats and the new giant warrior pirates are going to arrive on the surface at the most dramatic moment possible, right as Dorry and Brogy are about to kill Jarul. And it won't be Luffy who stops them. It will be Usopp, who will give a speech that calls out to their warrior's pride and snaps them out of Imu's influence.
A classic Usopp moment of bravery. That feels right. Okay, my second prediction concerns Ripley and Cologne. She will find her son, but he'll have already been transformed into one of those demon giants by Killingham's power. This will force a tragic confrontation, a mother having to fight her own child, making the stakes of this battle deeply personal.
Damn, that's dark, but it fits the tone of what Imu's trying to do, breaking their spirits. That would certainly do it. My second prediction is that we're going to get a flashback, but from Imu's perspective. It will show us King Harald's miserable failure.
I think Harald made a pact with the world government, but then tried to betray them to protect someone important, maybe a buccaneer who landed on Elbaph, or someone with knowledge of the sun god Nika. His failure wasn't that he lost, but that he even tried to defy them in the first place.
That would connect everything. Loki's ambition, Kuma's story, and the ancient history of Elbaph. It's a strong possibility.
We'll have to see who's right next week.
We will.